Good morning. Captain Matt Edwards, retired here, take two. In my first video, I started to do a story about a veteran, and as you know, I try to change the names. And then, right near the end, I call him by his real name. So, Sean, not his real name. Sean was a reservist. He volunteered for a tour. He went over to Afghanistan. He served his tour. I think he was an engineer. I could look it up later, but that's not the point of my story. He came back and he had PTSD. Now, he's only a young guy, 30, 31. So, in part, that's why they got rid of the pension. To give a pension for someone who lives, say, till 85, at 30, it would be 55 years of getting a pension. But again, that's not my point of this story. Sean, I'll keep trying to call him by his fake name, he was on a CISIP rehabilitation, vocational rehabilitation program, and it was a 3-year program. It was 2 years in school and 1 year co-op, where he goes out and works and gets some experience. Now, they're telling him that they won't cover him, that they'll only do 2 years. Now, if they really wanted people to be vocationally rehabbed and get back to work, and it was really important, they wouldn't do what they're doing to Sean. Again, I almost spit out his real name. And, they sent him a letter, and they said that they don't stack benefits. Stacking, I'll segue right into that, is an insurance concept where you get paid twice for the same injury. So nobody would agree with that, including me. So if you walked across the road and you were on the base and you got hit by a car, you sue the driver, you get the lawsuit tort damages. And you also get a Veterans Affairs pension because you were injured on duty. So you can't keep both because you're getting paid twice for the same injury and you're compensated in full for each one. So you're getting doubly compensated, which is bad. But Sean isn't being doubly compensated. They're not stacking his benefits. He is getting the Veterans Affairs earnings loss benefit to cover the last year, and they're giving him another year of co-op. That co-op, they're going to fix it. But the interchangeability and the communication between Veterans Affairs and CISIP is exposed because the guy from CISIP said in no way, shape, or form would they do that because it was stacking of benefits. Well, it ain't stacking, and he's wrong. So this guy, who, by the way, has a PTSD service dog, he was in the news, so I probably could use his real name, but I'm trying to keep things, confidential so that people will trust me when they tell me their stories. This is not right. I have another story about Chad, but I'll save that because this one's going a bit long. But this bullshit about rehabilitation is all it is bullshit. There should be no strings attached to compensation. If you get injured, you should get compensated. Good morning, Captain Matt Edwards here, retired, with another short video. Today's video is going to be about William, I'll call him. William was serving in Afghanistan in 2010 in Kandahar, and he was wounded. Now, the reason I got in touch with him, as usual, is, CISIP or earnings loss benefit or something like that, and the Canadian Forces pension. The specific issue that I tried to help him with, which is disgusting in my opinion, especially to a wounded warrior, is that the CISIP long-term disability were taking an estimated Canadian Forces pension into account. Now, for those of you that don't know, that's one of my main targets, is that CISIP, as a non-indemnity long-term disability insurance that you bought and paid for, has no right to offset because in common law, a non-indemnity payment doesn't have a way to value how much it's worth. So therefore it doesn't have a value. It's paid in contract only. So therefore there is no right to offset, and it cannot be offset. So why the hell can CISIP take this guy who went to defend his country over in Afghanistan to go far away to try to defend our values? What gives these jerks the right to think that they can take an estimated Canadian Forces pension, $1,700 a month at first, and then he did a little bit of fighting with him and got it down to $600 a month, but it was still ridiculous. Now, he also had a problem with his pension, and I'm going to throw a little kudos to the Canadian Forces pension director I was talking to, Lynn McKenzie Phillips, or no, Lynn McKenzie. Anyway, Lynn. I told her the story, and she got on it right away. Not about that part, but he was also having to buy back his pension, and they were taking $1,100 a month for 60 months to pay back his pension buyback. Now that's exorbitant. So she said she'd take care of it, and I do believe she did. So a good and a bad story today. The SISIP jerks who took the Canadian Forces pension, which is a asset, a bank account type thing, and then to the director there who gave him a hand. Okay, thanks. Oh. Good morning, Captain Matt Edwards here, retired, with another short video. Today's soldier story or horror story is about Ellen, not her real name, of course. Ellen was participating in the earnings loss benefit rehabilitation program that Veterans Affairs has, and my concern is that they are basically putting in a condition of compensation. And in her case, they cut off her compensation for her injury in service because, get this, she was more interested in family matters than she was in getting rehabilitated. Now, she had 3 children, she was having her 4th, and they cut her off. They cut her off of a $3,500 a month benefit because she was more interested in family than healing, according to them. Now, this kind of crap must stop. If you're entitled to compensation for injury, you're entitled to it. It's a 100% right, and you do not have them trying to poke their nose in and telling you how to live your life. Ellen, it's not her real name again. They should not have cut off her benefits because she was more concerned about her family, which is a very laudable goal. Canada, we try to pride ourselves in family values and stuff, and why should Veterans Affairs give a mixed message in that if she's more interested in her family than doing exactly what they want and jumping through whichever hoops they want, why should they get the save by cutting her off? Now, in her case, it was of a period of 18 months. She eventually got back on it again. But she had 18 months that she lost $3,500 a month because some bureaucratic jerk decided that they couldn't live with her caring more about her family than getting better. Now, I just got major problems with that. Good afternoon, Captain Matt Edwards, retired here again with another short video. Today's personal story is going to be about Ruth, a young Class A reservist who was serving on a Class C at the time, which is the same as regular force, service. And she evidently had some problems with her eye that they misdiagnosed, and the doctor screwed it up, and they ended up, I believe, taking out her eye and stuff. And then later on, she went back to Class A service, which is part-time service, and they wouldn't give her full support and full benefits. Now, the reason I bring this up because, well, you should not treat one class of soldier different than another class of soldier. Under the Constitution of Canada, we have the constitutional right to health care at government expense when you're considered a federal person. The RCMP, Canadian Forces, and prisoners and Aboriginal people are considered a federal class of people, and they are excluded from the Canada Health Act, Section 2. So therefore, there shouldn't be any differentiation between a reservist and a full-time soldier. The Canadian Forces is basically violating our Constitution in giving her a hard time about her benefits. Now, I think that they've done a few things to help her out since, but I was helping them last year, and the stuff they were getting on with was crazy. There should be one standard. One veteran, one standard. There shouldn't be any crap about your Class A, B, or C, or regular force. So, I mean, her name, hopefully I used the wrong name, trying to keep her confidentiality, Ruth, I think. Hopefully. It begins with R. Usually that's what I'm trying to do, but I shouldn't have even said that, but hey.